hello everyone. Again, this is Khadija Ramlawi. I'm the co-founder of Wasla Connect, and if you don't know about Wasla Connect, Wasla is a nonprofit organization which aims to empower youth, Palestinian youth, especially displaced people from Gaza, with tech talents and like tech professions also. We offer a program of three pillars. The first pillar is a mentorship program, which takes offers individualized mentorship experience for over like 4 months for each participant. We just launched our winter cohort, but if you're still interested, we'll drop the link in the chat. Please apply for next cohort that we will start in late May. We also have live training session, which is open to everyone, where we bring amazing speaker and expert, just like Emily, the one that we have with us today. And we also have the courses and educational opportunities, such as the ones that we have with our partner, AUSC, which is the American University in Cairo. We've been running now for over 16 months, and we've seen an amazing impact with over 100, no, 120 maybe mentees, and over 23 live training sessions. We've been hearing amazing and very positive feedback. So please, if you're interested in our programs, just try to join or contact us. We're all here for you. But today we have a very exciting session with the amazing Emily. Emily is a career coach, and she's the founder of Emily Career Services and a former tech recruiters. We actually had a session with her before, and it went amazing. We had very insightful session about interview questions and how to handle it. But today, because a lot of people also are interested in this topic, Emily is about to tell us about how to use a custom ChatGPT. And I'll leave the floor for you, Emily, to give it like a short introduction for you and kick off the session. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you.
for joining, and thank you, Emily, for again giving us this session.
Well, thank you so much. I feel really honored to be here. And thank you so much for the warm welcome and the kind introduction. Yeah, I am originally from the United States. I worked in higher education myself as an immigrant in Germany, and now I'm back in North America. I live in Mexico, and I work remotely, helping people land jobs in tech. So I'm really excited to be here with you today. I like to be very tech forward, and today I'm really excited to be talking about the topic of making custom GPTs for your job search. So without further ado, I'll try to keep my eye on the chat, but I have a lot of windows open, so apologies in advance if if I don't if I don't see all of the comments there.
Don't worry, we will keep a track and tell you. Don't worry, we are here.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, wonderful. And I'm really excited about the turnout today. So, if there are any questions that come up, please just feel free to drop them in as they come. And I'm not a Zoom person. I think this happened last time too. I'm not a Zoom person, and I lost my window now. There. Okay. Can you all see my slides? Yeah. Okay, great.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, I love the emojis. Keep them coming. All right. So today we're going to talk about custom GPTs. And I saw a few hands go up when I asked if you've got experience with a custom GPT, and a few people did, and a few people didn't. So I'm just going to give like a basic explanation of what a custom GPT is to start off with. So basically, I'm sure that you've all worked with ChatGPT by now. It's a really exciting tool that, uses a large language model in order to give you very customized output for whatever task it is. And the making it customized is basically just giving it some additional instructions and some parameters in order for it to give you a very specific output to suit your purpose each time. And so today we're going to talk about, what that means when it comes to your job search, what a custom GPT can do for you, and what types of input you'll be able to give it. And actually, before we get started, I'm going to give you access to a folder that you can see, because there will be some documents that we'll be using in here. And now I have to find the chat. Oh gosh. Oh, oh
It's
no.
okay, no rush.
Ah.
It's usually like up in the bar next to like mute and video and all of
Ah,
that.
right. Got it. Okay. So here's a link to the documents that we'll be using today in the drive. I'll go over a little bit of a presentation first to talk about, talk about the basics and the foundation, and then later we'll be going into the drive and using the documents there in order to be able to set up the custom GPT. So you should all be able to see the link in the chat now. And if somebody could just give me a thumbs up if you actually have access to that, would be great. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So now I I'm going to start out on a negative point here. I'm sure that you've all seen, when we're in the application process, there are a lot of AI tools that people are using nowadays to be able to get your resume out to like a bunch of different companies at once. And these resume tools generally allow you to customize your resume. And because there are so many AI tools out there and applicants are able to send such a large volume of applications for each position now, where maybe there were 100 or 150 applicants or applications that were received before we had these AI solutions, now there might be 1,000. So you, with your one resume into a pool when you're doing cold applications, the chance now of being that person instead of being the 1 in 150 is the 1 in 1,000. So, for that reason, it's really important for us to be customizing our resume for every single job that we're applying to online. And there are ways to do that. So I'm not a big fan of AI resume tools, as you can see from the slide, because what AI resume tools generally do is they offer you a quick solution. And they say, give me your resume, give me the job description that you'd like to apply for, and I'll make you a new customized resume for this particular job. So that data goes into the bot, it works on it, and it gives you an output. And it will quite often just make stuff up. It'll just make stuff up. For example, you apply for a company that says moonshots, called moonshots, and the bot will see that and it won't know what to do with that. And it will maybe make a bullet point or put in your resume summary, it will say something like, oh, when I went to the moon. And because it doesn't know anything about you, it only has this one-page resume that you've given it, which just isn't enough information in order to be able to get a customized output that is actually accurate and correct. It will align a resume very closely to the job description, but that doesn't necessarily reflect on the truth of you and your employment history. So, what are we going to do about this to make it give you a better output every time? So here we saw that the inputs are your resume and the job description. And moving forward, what we will be achieving with your custom GPT, we will be giving it your resume, we will be giving it the job description, and we will be giving it a lot more data, because the more data it has about you, the more accurate and the more efficient results that you'll be able to get every time you sorry, I have a bit of a cold. Every time you create a new resume with your GPT. Okay, so let's talk about why it works. So basically, the custom GPT is something that you can use at scale. It gives you a lot of efficiency. Quite honestly, it takes some time to set up, and I've taken a lot of the load off of you by creating some setup docs for you. But once you get it set up, it'll be quite efficient. It will be quite accurate. It will be very consistent. It will take a human first approach, meaning that it's going to talk about you. It's not going to be lying all over the place, and it will be scalable. So for every single job that you're applying for, it will give you a quick customized output. Whereas AI resume tools are very efficient, it can very quickly make a resume, but it will not be accurate, it will not be consistent, and it will not be human first. So because it's just gonna lie about you. All right. So that being said, let's talk. I think it's clear, about the inputs, right? The resume, it's clear you've got your resume, the job description, you'll grab that from the internet and you'll put it in. But like, what is in this extra data here? Like, what do we need to tell it about ourselves in order for it to give you this amazing output every time? So this is where I came up with something that I call a situation catalog. A what now? Because when I say situation catalog, I have never had anyone know what I mean by that. So let me tell you. A situation catalog is basically a list of interview questions that you'll probably find in the interviews that you'll be having, especially when it comes to the tech space. So nowadays, the gold standard of interviewing is asking questions that we call behavioral interview questions. So they'll be asking you to talk about specific times when you did something at work or related to work. Tell me about a time when you did X, Y, and Z. And then you'll have to, in the moment, think back to a situation where you've done that and give them a response in a structured format, because in the interview process you only have a limited amount of time, so you need to have those situations top of mind and be able to answer kind of quickly and efficiently. So a situation catalog is a list of questions, interview questions, that are going to be this extra data that your custom GPT wants. And going over to the drive, you can see, and guys, feel free to copy all of these. I've given you viewer access here in the folder. Feel free to copy all of these from the drive. So I'm going to have a look right now in the doc 01 situation catalog. And let's see if I can share that now. Here we go. So I hope that you're seeing my situation catalog now. And there's a very thumbs up. Can you see it? Okay, great. Thank you. So there's a brief description of what this is, how to use the document. So basically, all these interview questions, it would be great if you can answer in the STAR format, which is talking about the situation, the task, the action, result. I think we don't have a lot of time to go into the details of what that means right now. But there's a lot of information like that online, so feel free to have a look. And then this is where the questions come in. So I've broken it down into sections for you: career context and motivation. And these are really real interview questions that are likely to be asked in the interview process across different companies. So for example, describe a time when your role required you to solve problems beyond what was formally in your job description. So then you can give an answer. And what I like to do is I like to take my phone and I'll put the cursor here in answer. And because this is going into an LLM, the answer doesn't need to be like fantastically formatted or anything. Just to be quick and efficient, I want to just, I like to record it into my phone, do the voice to text, and then it just fills it out here. Because I put 20 questions in this catalog, so it could be kind of time consuming to get this setup done. But your GPT will thank you, and you will be practicing here, quite honestly, for those interviews that you'll have coming down the line. So this is just basically you giving the GPT information that it needs about you. You'll hopefully be able to describe a bunch of different situations. You'll be giving metrics in here. I was able to improve the efficiency of a process by 20%. I, made a dashboard that enabled the chief financial officer of my company to have real-time insights into the cash flow and make data-based decisions, for example. So you'll give the context, where you were, which job you were, or even if you're young and you don't have a lot of work experience yet, you can talk about projects that you've worked at school, also in the program. So it doesn't have to, if you don't have those work experiences yet, don't let that scare you away. Life experience is also very valuable here. And I would say first, always try to go with work experience. And then if you don't have that work experience, go to a life experience. Just make sure that you're able to um, give your GPT data and prepare yourself for interviews at the same time. Also, if you put your information in here and you're wondering, like, did I actually do a good job? Of course, feel free to just download this, toss it into ChatGPT, not the custom GPT yet, and just say, okay, give me some feedback on my answers and make sure that I've answered all of these questions in the star format. And if I'm missing any gaps, please help me find the gaps or even just ask me questions about the gaps so that I can have a very complete situation catalog. Okay, so setup, yes, it does take a good amount of time, but you'll thank me in the end because your output will be really great. Okay, and that being said, I am done with my presentation. And now, are there any questions at this point? Because I uh, I would like to show you, if there are no questions here, then I'll show you all of the docs and I'll do a demo of actually how to set up that custom GPT.
I actually have some questions.
Awesome. Yeah, give it to
Yeah.
me.
The thing is that sometimes I apply for technical job and sometimes like a managerial job. So I got the situation thing, but if I'm like tailoring the CV for this job like manually, I would like do it like in a different way. So the situation will be different. Does that mean that we have to create a chat like in a project, for example, in ChatGPT for like this is for technical jobs and this one is for do we have to duplicate that work? And the second thing, I know it, but I just if I missed it, I just want you to um, remind the attendees with us about the STAR method because you briefly I think mentioned it. So if you can
Yeah.
explain the situation, uh, task, something, yeah, please.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so question number one, do you need two separate situation catalogs or two separate custom GPTs for your resumes? I would say no. Because there are going to be jobs out there that are going to want to know about all of those things. And hopefully for you, Khadija, like I would love for you to find a job like that, job that's a unicorn for you, because you probably have, and everyone has, right, a very specific mix of experiences and skills. And there is going to be a job out there for you that's going to really benefit from the match. So I would say, um, and also this situation catalog, I made it very general. Also, I teach a cohort of people who are switching from a different career into data. And I made a different situation catalog for them that's very specific about like different tasks in data, dashboarding, um, presentations, cross-functional communication, things like this. So because the group is very diverse today, I made it quite general, but you also can make your own situation catalog following these guidelines specific to the type of role that you're interested in. So Khadija, if you've got like a very technical type of role and a very non-technical, more like administrative type role, you can tell ChatGPT, okay, I'm interested in creating a situation catalog. You can even give it my template and say, make sure that there are questions in the situation catalog that that capture situations from both types of roles to make sure that your custom GPT has enough data for you to go either way. And also, I would say that a lot of times people put themselves out there and they say, I could do a million different things because I have this, and this skill. And that can be quite confusing for recruiters. So if when I was working as a recruiter and I saw somebody that was great at marketing and data and engineering and AI stuff and operations, to me, like I don't really know where to put you. And it's a little bit of a red flag because I feel like this person just wants to get in my company and they will take a job in anything. But are they really good in the thing that I want? Like I really want somebody who wants to do the job that I have to offer. So I think, Khadija, it's great that you've got two different tracks because I recommend having a maximum of track A and track B and nothing else because anything else, it just feels a bit overwhelming. So I think you're doing it right.
Okay.
Okay, so that's number one. And then to talk a little bit more about the star format, let's go back over to my presentation here. So we're going to focus right now. There are a couple of different frameworks that we use. So when it comes to interviews, the answers that we give about these situations, we use the star format: situation, task, action, result. And if I'm not mistaken, let me actually see. Let me see if I can find a different slide about interviews. Um, just a moment. Interviews. Right. Okay. Here. Okay. So the situation to go through each step individually is where and when, and the task you had is the thing that you had to do, that you're like the task that your boss gave you. So okay, and then I'll give you an example. Action is what you decided and the actions that you took. Like specifically, what did you do in the role? I know a lot of times, like when we're working, we work in teams and we tend to talk about what we did as a team. And it's very helpful for the recruiter to know specifically what you did. So using we can be a little bit confusing for me as a recruiter because I feel like, okay, how many people were in this group? Were there five? Were there two? Were there 20? And then what decisions did you take specifically? So I always encourage people when you are answering interview questions using the star format, always, always, always use the word I, especially in the West, if you're interviewing in the West. Okay, result is then the outcome or the impact. So what happened as a result? And I have to say, this is the number one thing that people forget is the result. So for example, like I said earlier, I improved my efficiency by 20%. That is the result. That is what happened. When I communicate that, I'm showing the recruiter or the hiring manager that I know that my work had an impact on the company, on the bottom line. And that makes you a very valuable employee. So when it comes to the overall approach to like how much time you spend on each of these situation or task, it should be really brief. About 30% of the time should be spent talking about the situation and task. The majority of the answer should be spent on the action. So I would say about 60% of the time should be spent on talking about which actions you took, which decisions you made, what you did, and then the result should be about 10% of the answer, talking about specifically what the outcomes were. Would you guys like to hear me actually give my interview response to this question?
I think it will be good because also a lot of people will ask for the recording because of the internet connection. So it will
Okay.
be helpful like to hear it during the recording, like as an example for the STAR method.
Okay, wonderful. So I will give you an example from my real life work experience. So, so if someone were to ask me the question in an interview, tell me about a time you used data to improve a system or process, then I would talk about the following true situation. So, when I was working at the international office at the University of Mannheim in Germany, I was tasked with running a German language program for refugees. Sorry, I'm just thinking this off the top of my head right now. Um, so when I took over the program, I noticed that the graduation rate from my program was quite low. It was probably somewhere around 30%. So 30% of the seats that I had available in my program resulted in a successful graduation. And the goal of this task was to have everyone who graduated come out with a level of B2 in German so that they could study a full degree after relocating, usually from Syria. Okay, so when I realized that the graduation rate was quite low, I decided to take the following actions. I wanted to find out why the graduation rates were so low, so I decided to interview staff and students to find out why, number one, a lot of people would abandon the program at some point over the course of the year, and number two, to find out what qualities the successful students in the program had. Then, when I gained that information, I decided to use that information to redesign the selection process based on the data indicators that I had received. So, for example, I was very surprised to find out that the majority of the successful candidates lived close to the university. So it was a hurdle for people living far away from the university to come and arrive on time for classes. So I integrated distance from their house to the university as part of the application criteria for admission. Then I also assessed their initial level, the level of language that they had going into the program. You might think that starting the program with a high level would mean that the student had a better outcome. But what we found is that people who started, who already had like a B1 level, had a difficult time because the class started at A1 or A2 level, meaning that they were bored for a lot of time during the class. And that led to a lot of them dropping out. Then I also assessed the university or grades that they brought from Syria, from university or high school, and I found that the students who had a good university or high school grades from the courses that they had already taken tend to do well in the course. So in addition to the new admission criteria, which were weighted based on the data, I decided to create a new backfill process. So with the information that people with the higher level of German tend to drop out earlier in the program, I decided to create a process by which I would save them for later. So if any of these seats became empty, I would go back to them later and say, "Hey, you have B1 level in German. Are you still interested in the program? Because now we've advanced to B1. So now is a great time for you to join." And then I would have a happy student who didn't waste 4 months going back through levels A1 and A2, and they were able to enter the program at a stage that was interesting and appropriate for them, leading to more graduation. So as a result of implementing these new admission and backfill processes, I found that the pass rate in the first year was 92%. So that was more than double the average pass rate, not only from the past years in my school, but across the entire state that I was working in Baden-Württemberg. So you can see that, it was very clear what I did, the actions that I took, and the result. And I, at least I did my best to appropriately use that 30% to describe the situation and task. The bulk of my answer was focused on the actions that I took, and then the result was just some brief numbers at the end. So
Yeah.
if you're able to do this already at the beginning of the process, you are way ahead because you're going to be doing a great job giving those answers to your interview questions, and also your GPT is going to be amazing, guys. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a wonderful example.
Thank you.
Um, we have two questions. Would you like to hear it now or
Yes, please.
later? Okay, so we have Muhammad says we don't always have clear metrics for our work. Can this be a life death point for my CV?
Um, it's always better to have metrics. So if you've had situations in the past where You've taken some great actions and there's been an outcome, but you're not clear on what they were. If you're able to go back and find those metrics, I would encourage you to do so. Otherwise, you can say more. So, for example, if I didn't know that I had a 92% pass rate, I could say, the pass rate skyrocketed. It was significantly higher. I can talk about that too, but it's much stronger if you're able to put numbers to that.
Perfect. We also have a question from Nada. She says, the thing is that when I upload every single data that I need to remind it every time and upload it again. This is maybe she's talking about ChatGPT.
Right. So, Nada, if I'm saying your name
Yeah,
correctly, is it Nada or Nader?
Nada.
Ah, Nada. Okay, I see there's a Nada and a Nader here. Okay, so Nada, my assumption now is that you're not actually using a custom GPT. I think what you're probably doing is accessing ChatGPT in the general chat window. So if you do that and you have a chat that's specific for your applications, it gets bogged down because in the same chat, it's always referencing, like it has memory, so it's always referencing, what you've said earlier in that chat. So it can start at some point, it'll get a little bit buggy and it'll start like referencing, previous job descriptions where that information from that isn't relevant to the current job that you want it to create a resume for. So by doing a custom GPT, what we're going to do is basically create a RAG structure where the documents that you put into the back end will be referenced in a new chat every time. So every time you put in a new job description, it will be a completely new chat window that will have everything that it needs to have in order to give you a very consistent output, but it won't have the problem of referencing all of the former chats. It'll be a completely new chat every time, which is where you get that amazing efficiency from.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
I think yes, and if you may, like, just to clarify even more, if I understand right, just let me know if I'm referencing it right. That some people are just using ChatGPT that just open it and write whatever they want, feed it in random chats, not in one single chat, or not
Yeah.
in a project. For example, myself, when I try to train my ChatGPT by creating projects for each thing, for like work, for study, for whatever. So that's why if you are combining all the data in one chat or in one project, it will be more customized and consistent rather than looking into the memory in every chat you said because it will be more scattered. Does that
Yeah,
is that right? Okay.
exactly. So projects are another good approach. So you can actually, maybe I'll just show my chat window now. Okay, I'm getting quicker at screen sharing. That's better. Okay, so if you see over here, I mean, this is the general ChatGPT window, and then you've got the option over here to do projects. So you can see I have a project folder for my company, Emily Career Services, my personal assistant, one for my kids, for products, because I like to dive into product a little bit, and some recruiting tasks that I've done. So that is that. However, over here up at the top, you've got GPTs. So this is what we're going to make in order to give you like that fresh output every time. And I am not familiar. So I know that these projects help me with, categorizing certain type of tasks, but I haven't actually done projects um for the customized resumes because I think it will still get bogged down because if you've got all these different chats over here, the memory kind of stays within the project. So I assume like this works very well for me for my business because I do want it to be referencing all those past chats. But when it comes to the resume, like I don't want it to be referencing information about different jobs. Like I want it to always be referencing just clean information every time for this specific role. So that's why I found that the custom GPT works best.
I never used one before, actually. I'm curious to know how exactly to use it.
Awesome. Well, that being said, we have 20 minutes left in the call, and I would love to get into it. Are there any other quick questions that I can answer, or should I just dive right in?
I think, yes, please feel free to dive in because we don't have any more questions in the chat.
Okay, great. So, just as a prefix for this, I believe that you still need to have the paid version of ChatGPT in order to create your own custom GPT. It's $20, 20 US dollars a month, more or less. And if you want, it's also possible to create a custom GPT and share it with people. So if one person has the paid version of ChatGPT, and you can make your custom GPT in their account, and then you can share it. You can still use it externally. You don't need the paid account, but the person who creates it does have to have the paid account. Um, so just so you know. All right. So let's go to GPTs, explore GPTs, create. Okay. So if you haven't created a custom GPT before, this is what it looks like. Over here, this is what I'm gonna, for the purpose of our conversation, I'll just refer to as the back end. So this is basically a chat window where you're giving it all of your inputs and you're telling it how to act. And then over here, this is what I'll call the front end. So the user interface that you'll be seeing later when you're using it yourself for your own tasks. So in order to make this easy for you guys, I'm gonna go over here to my folder. And you can see that there are documents that are numbered. I've already shown you the situation catalog. There's a master prompt. So going into this master prompt, I have taken the time to give you everything that you need to tell ChatGPT in order for it to give you the output that you're going to want for your resume. That's number two. Then I'm also giving you a resume template. Copy this into your own folders, guys. This is amazing. This is just the structure that you can use every single time in order to get it out quickly and effectively. What I would recommend is having in your base template. So this is my template for everyone, but you can customize this and put your name here, make it your template. And then after you've got your template, it'll be easy to just pop in, these bullets, this project descriptions will generally be the same. A lot of things will be the same every time. What often changes is the target job title. So here you should always be putting the job title from the job description. Your contact information will be the same. This will change, and these bullets will change. You might want to tweak your projects a little bit, but generally that can generally stay the same too. And then education, volunteer work, these things generally will be the same. And all of these things are optional. You guys really need to customize this to your situation. If you're a young professional, I recommend keeping it to one page. And if you've got like more than 5 years of experience, you can do 2 pages. I also thought I saw somebody writing in German in the chat, and I can say if you're in Germany, you can definitely do 2 pages. That's no issue. I speak from experience having recruited for people in Germany. Okay, so copy this, take all of these docs. Your GPT will also be able to create a cover letter for you in this format. So you can copy this as well. I think we don't have time to go into everything, but you've got, the same basic up here, and it will give you an output that you can use. There's instructions here, so you can read that in more detail when you have time. Then, very important to go into the back end are going to be the resume rules. So here, this is a document that we're going to give ChatGPT to tell it what that output for the resume should look like specifically for you. So it's telling about formatting, it's telling about skills, the professional summary, all of these different things. So I took the time to make this for you guys. Feel free to go through it and see whatever works for you. It should work pretty well. I've gotten really great feedback about the custom GPTs, but always feel free to make it work better for you. And if you do, let me know what you did because I like to improve my stuff very consistently as well. Similarly, there are also cover letter rules. And all of these documents have a naming convention that will work well with the O2 with the master prompt. So without further ado, I'm just going to make this thing, okay? And I think I'm going to share differently so that we can see it better. Okay. And I'm going to pull out ChatGPT over here. And I'm just going to start with my master prompt. All right, you guys ready for it? This is fun. You can see here, this is in red. You need to put your name in there. So I'm going to take it here. I'm going to call it Emily Wasla. Good. So it's going to think. It's going to update. And it's working right now. And I like to let it work because if you give it too much input, this is a pretty long prompt. So if you give it too much input, sometimes it can get a little confused. So I like to do that. Okay. So dedicated rules-driven engine. Okay, it makes the name. I like this name. Okay. It's generating the image. I let it do that too because I've interrupted it before and then it doesn't like that. So sorry, this takes a little bit of time. I just saw a question over here, Samar. Yes, the resources are shared in the shared folder that you can copy. Please don't attempt to make any edits in the folder because those are in my personal business folder. My opinion on using the Europass CV, not a big fan, Dina. It's got everything that you need there, but I like to have it in a clean format, especially if you're applying to tech roles. So that's my recommendation there, speaking from a German perspective. Okay, I don't know, it's not doing that. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy. So right now, I'm gonna give it, I've already downloaded oh, I need to download some other stuff. Okay, hang on, cancel. Now I'm going to give you the templates and parameters. Okay, and I need to do all the docs. I'll just do it in this order. Download as a PDF, that's doc 3. File download as a PDF, that's doc 4. Download resume rules as a PDF, doc 5. And download as a PDF, doc 6. So now I'll upload those PDFs. Okay. We let it load. And now I'm going to give it my personal situation catalog, which I've honestly borrowed. Now it's going to do the profile picture. Okay. So you can see here my resume and my situation catalog. This isn't actually my information. I borrowed it from someone else, but it will get the job done for now. Okay, and then I'll tell it, yes, I'm happy with that picture. Here is my information containing my personal resume and my situation catalog. Okay, we just give it some time to update.
Do you want to take some questions until we this updates? We have other questions here from Nada,
Yes, go
Salah,
ahead.
And yeah, so now let's say some opportunities as candidates not to use GPT or AI tools. How do employers dedicate AI usage, and how should I write my application if there is required content to be written without AI while still maintaining good structure and follow like a cover letter, or there is another thing that we can do and still use AI?
Okay, so the question about employers. So right now we are still like in a new scenario right now with these AI tools, and there are a lot of companies out there that just say no, I don't want you to use AI stuff. Honestly, I think the market will speak to these people. We are in a moment. It's like like if you were in the early 2000s and you didn't use the internet, like this is what we have right now. And all of these companies are going to be competing against companies that are using AI. So honestly, like I wouldn't want to work for a company like that personally, especially if you guys are in tech, you're using AI. And I mean, that's my personal stance. You do what you got to do. If you want to appease these dinosaurs and you want to like customize your resume by hand every single time, you absolutely can do that. I wouldn't waste my time there because I would be asking myself, how soon is the market going to speak? And how soon am I going to lose my job because this company is going to be beat out by other companies that are using AI? Did
Very
that
fun.
answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good. My
So,
harsh truth.
did we, sorry for cutting everyone here. Is there many other steps that left for the customized GPT? Should we take more questions, or did it take their time to end that GPT and then follow the questions?
Let's finish the GPT now because it looks like
Okay.
it's calibrated everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and click create. And here you can see who are you sharing this GPT with? Only me, anyone with the link, or you can put in the GPT store. I'm going to do only me for now, just because this is nonsense. GPT, it's not even my data. Okay, good. So now let me see if it loaded in my GPTs. Nope. Let me update it and then I'll launch it myself.
I actually saw it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think the last one, isn't it?
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Okay, so now all I'm going to do, create a custom resume for this role. And let me grab a, I forgot to get a job. Let me get a job that I want to apply for. So then it prompts you, please paste the full text of the target job description below. Come on, LinkedIn. We're running out of time. Let's go. And then I'm going to find, I'll just find this is a data science person. So I'll say data scientist. Okay, we're going to go to Google. Data science job. Okay. So I'll just pick this. Um, I just need the job description. Okay. And I don't want to get all this other text that's not related to the qualifications. So I'm just going to get the stuff that's pertinent to the job description. I don't want anything about benefits. So this is the text that I want. I'm going to copy that, paste it in here. And it generates. No, not that. And of course, now I've got so many docs open. Template, I don't want to mess with that. Here. So then this is what I would do. So of course, I will already have this mostly customized. And then I'll just go ahead. Here it's called data scientist. Always taking the job from the job description. And then here, copy, Control Shift V to paste it in with the formatting. Okay. Skills. I've got my skills here. And then basically it's a copy paste job for now, guys. At some point, I would very much like to get this to you in a way that is not a copy paste solution. I've actually been working on getting that done, but right now, unfortunately, is just not the case. So this information would generally always be there already, but I'm just adding it now. And then we come to the bullets. The bullets tend to be a little finicky, but you can copy and paste them in. I always need to delete these extra bullets. I haven't figured out a way to get around that yet. So if you do, please let me know and I'll update my documentation. And then you can see this is very highly tailored to that job description. So you'll go ahead and you'll copy and paste. I always recommend, especially when it's the first time that you're using this, be reading it. We're not just copy paste robots. We've done a good job of inputting the data, but we want to make sure that it's giving us good output. Okay, so it shouldn't be telling things here that are not true. It shouldn't be making stuff up. And if it is, then it's time to go back and tweak your GPT in the back end by going up here and then edit GPT is where you'll be able to go back and make changes there and just tell it in plain English, what it should do. And then you can see over here, would it asks you after it's done making that, would you like me to generate a cover letter for the same role? Yes. Here goes the cover letter. It's generating now. And I'll just put Emily demo. Okay, then of course I'll have this customized as well, the template ready to go. And then here, this is it. Very well aligned to the formatting. There's a nice introduction paragraph that you can read, what is going into that. And then it comes to these bullets. So it's going to start out by talking about one of the skills. I like to have it bold and unbold, so I actually go through the trouble of doing this every time. You can just have this not bolded if you want, but it'll talk about something that is relevant to that job and then go through what your specific experience is across your background in this particular skill. So you got a couple of bullets here. Paste it in. I'll just do this second one. And it's just literally taking this directly from the job description, copy and paste. Of course, you review it. Got an extra, oops. Got an extra space in there. Best regards, Emily. Save as PDF, send, done. You applied for a job. How you guys feel?
Wow, saved a lot of time. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm not sure. Do you have hard stop on the
I don't. I have some more time. So I realize that this is a lot of information condensed into an hour. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to stay for up to an additional 30 minutes to answer
Oh,
any questions that
perfect.
you guys have. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Noor, do you have time? I would like me to read the questions.
Actually, I'm sorry, I need to leave. I have another meeting, so
Okay.
I'm so sorry. And thank you so much, Emily. It's a very useful session. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So you maybe Hiba here or Aura, she can
Yeah.
read. Yeah,
I
anyone,
can do it.
please. And Emily, just a slight thing, if you can share with me anything on the email after session so I can share it with everybody. If you want, happy to share the slides, any useful documents that would be wonderful. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
Yep, you're very welcome. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emily. That was really beneficial. I was using GPT in a different way, but this one is new for me at least now. And I'm not,
Okay.
and I don't know why I didn't hear about this before. So much back. Anyway, we have a couple of questions, but we have also Nadir here wants to unmute and ask you a question, if you please. So Nadir, if you like, just go ahead.
Hello. How's it going, everyone?
Thank you
So,
for asking your question.
yeah, sorry for interruption.
Let me
Um,
let me mute. Go ahead.
okay. So I have like two questions, if I may. First, my name is Nader. I'm a software engineer from Gaza, currently located in Egypt. I'm also a part of the Wasla Connect mentees, which is something I'm really proud of. And I would like to thank you for this amazing session. I'm sure everyone has benefits from it. So my question is, I'm really interested about the story that you said about running a German language program for refugees. And you mentioned that was in like Württemberg, right? Okay, so is it only in Württemberg or like is there like any different cities that have the same program?
Right. So that's a great question. I had that experience, I want to say like 2017 to 2019, more or less. So that was based on funding that was available in Germany at that time. So I'm not sure whether that program is still running. Of course, there's never any shortage of, refugee talent coming into Germany at any given time. So it's quite possible that that is still available. It was federal funding, so it was available across Germany, and then we just organized that by state. So at the end of a cycle, we would just have like a touch base meeting within our state. But that was University of Mannheim, which I love. Not the university that I studied at in Germany, but a great university with great support for international students. So if you're interested in that, I'm happy you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm
Mhm.
happy to look into that to see whether they still have that program running or not.
Yeah, well, the reason why I'm asking is uh, because I'm gonna go to Germany at some point to study there my master's degree.
Okay.
But I'm going to like other Bundesländer, like in Bayern or Essen, I don't know. So I
Yeah.
wanted to know, and I also speak German, not really fluent, but decent level. So I wanted to know if like this program is available in different cities.
It definitely had been in the past because of federal funding. So that's, yeah, it was there. I'll have to look into whether or not it's there. But yeah, if you have any questions about moving to Germany or anything like that, feel free to ask. Let me give you guys my LinkedIn. Hopefully I can access it again soon. I'll put it here in the chat. NDV. Um, yeah, so you should be able to connect with me there. And yeah, I'm super happy to talk about that. And also, a lot of my colleagues are still working in the international office there at Uni Mannheim. The only thing that I would say is if you're interested in that program at the time, it was necessary to have refugee status. So if you enter with a student visa, you wouldn't generally have access to that program because it's only available to people who enter with refugee status.
Okay, I have one more question if the
Yeah.
time. Okay. Um, how much would you say like the scale from 1 to 10 like to get a remote job in Germany until the time that I can be there? Or like is like the job market and the requirements to get hired in Germany remotely as a start,
Yeah.
is it like
That
hard or could it be possible? If so, like what advice can you give me?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say in general, there is a big need for like let's say offshore talent. So I think that the chances might be might be quite decent. Honestly, right now I'm working mostly in the United States. So I don't have the most accurate information. I've been in North America now for the last 4 years, so I don't have the most accurate information about Germany. But what I would say is that it's definitely good to like, go and leverage networking. So if you've already got friends who are in Germany, family members, or you can start, reaching out to people in Germany and offering your services, especially now there. I think you said that you're an engineer.
I'm a software engineer and I worked as a front-end React and Next.js developer with strong
Wonderful.
foundation backend as well. So mainly full stack, but I'm focused on front end.
Yeah, awesome. I think when it comes to engineering, especially, there are good chances of finding roles in Germany, generally, probably with smaller companies and startups.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Okay.
Thank you, Emily, for answering the questions. We have another question from Daya. She says, can we use the same methods with Gemini or other AI tools?
That is a really good question. I'm sure you can. I've just been, a chat GPT girly from from day one. When it came out, it was so exciting to me. So the day that it became public, I was like refreshing the page. So I've just used chat GPT this whole time. My husband is a big fan of Gemini, and I think that he does have something similar in Gemini. So I believe so. So if you're a fan of another tool, definitely feel free to even use the same documentation for that. And then if you do, let me know how it goes. I would love to hear.
Perfect. We also have a question from Salah. He says, what do you think about the new N8N technology? How can we benefit from it in finding jobs? I'm honestly familiar with it, but I see that no one can rely on it as a technology specialization like programming, right?
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I think people are not very knowledgeable of N8N. I've been in contact with some people in tech. Like even I have a good contact at a data company in San Francisco. Um, it's a unicorn. It's a data unicorn. And I was talking to one of their employees who used to be a client of mine. We have a catch up once in a while. And she told me that she had this problem. And I said, well, have you tried making a workflow with N8N? And she said, what's that? And I was like, whoa, let me show you N8N. So there is a really big need for companies right now to use automation solutions like N8N. And I think that there's a big need, but there's also kind of an education gap, I feel like, for companies. So I would say if you have that skill, put some content on LinkedIn of you making certain tools with N8N and explaining it and maybe don't just say like definitely say that you're using N8N, but also talk about like automations and use some different keywords that make people interested more generally in the topic, not specific to N8N, because there are companies who are going to want to use other tools like Zapier or I don't know. I'm a big fan of N8N, so that's the one that I use personally. And just like build some stuff out, even make some videos of you like showing your screen and explaining the workflow. Put that on LinkedIn and yeah, just see where it takes you. I think this is the moment to be using N8N right now and helping companies integrate that into their systems.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from Summer. She says, can I have multiple resumes if I'm targeting several data and ML positions in Germany?
So I would ask, what do you mean by different resumes? Because for every single job, I think it makes sense to make a customized resume for that job. At the moment, I would want to stay away from having just one general resume and sending it to a bunch of different companies. And companies are expecting this now. So I think for every company. You can just customize it. The format, use something that's clean, like nothing flashy, just something very simple like this. It's easy to use. People can, follow through it easily. This resume that you send is going to be ingested by some kind of AI tool that's going to read the text. So having graphics in the resume doesn't really make sense. It just can confuse the applicant tracking system. So just having some clean format like this and then changing the wording so that it matches more specifically with a particular role is the approach that I would recommend.
And this is the purpose of this session, actually. Like,
Yes,
what is the easiest and the most optimized way to get a different resume for every job description, right?
right,
Is that okay?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have a question, another question from Salah. He says, how can GPT be used to write articles and create a powerful script that will soon surpass 90% of human writing?
Oh, I think you can do that already. So how can it be used? So I would say, ChatGPT and GPTs in general are so powerful when it comes to text generation is like the thing that it's best at. So if you've got, a certain use case, like for example, LinkedIn posting, You wanna have consistent content on your LinkedIn posts. Basically, you can just train it on, the type of content that you're interested in posting. Give it a framework for generating posts, like, it should have a hook. Uh, actually, let me see if I have. What is your use case, Salah? What kind of articles are you interested in writing?
Yeah. Salah, if you would like to unmute yourself and just like say question
Okay, how are
or
you?
hello.
I'm well, thank you so much.
I'm Salah Murtaja, software engineer. Uh, I عطش في اللي هو تكنولوجي.
Yeah. Salah, if you would if you would like me translating any question, I'm here. Like إذا بدك تحكي بالعربي وأنا أترجم it's okay. I can do that.
Fine, okay. إيش كان السؤال هو؟ أنا عنده
هي
النت
بت...
عندي شوية بس.
هي بتقولك شو الارتكلز اللي أنت مهتم تكتبها عشان تحكي لك يعني من وجهة نظرها شو أحسن طريقة.
تقنية وتكنولوجي يعني.
Okay. So Salah, he says, thank you, Salah, for the question. He says that he's most interested in writing articles about technical stuff or technology and
Mm, okay. Yeah. I mean, I would say give it a writing style, give it parameters for the output so that it knows, what it should be contemplating. I think contemplating is is a funny word to use for a machine. But just make sure that it knows what your parameters are for the type of output that you want and what goal you want to achieve. Um, have you guys done any prompt engineering in your cohort?
um like online live training sessions, you mean?
Yeah.
No, we don't. We haven't yet.
Oh, ooh, I would love to suggest prompt engineering to you guys. And
Oh,
actually, let
that
me
would be
see
perfect.
if I can find uh, my prompt engineering guide. Um, I took a prompt engineering course at North Carolina State University from a Palestinian American professor.
Oh yeah, Dr.
Um,
Fadi.
Dr. Fadi, have you spoken with him?
Oh, we did. We did. We spoke with him. He's amazing. We spoke also with his team. We were discussing some time of collaboration.
Yeah.
And we're still discussing that. But as of for like a session, we didn't discuss this before. But if you would like just to tell us more about it or discuss or suggest anything, we're all here. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So this is what I got from his class. I know that he wouldn't be bothered with me showing this to you guys. Let's see, how can I zoom in on this? Like this. Let's see, I'm missing my tools. Okay, good. So for example, prompting is everything when it comes to getting a good text output here. And you can see over here, I hope that you can still see this on my screen, this magic formula that you can use. I don't know why it's doing that. Here, let's see, can I highlight it like this? There we go. So that Professor Fadi calls R squared G C squared. You give these are what you should contain in the prompt. So give it the role that you want the GPT to play, the result, what you want generated, the goal. What is the ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve with your article? Do you want people to be interested? Do you want to eventually generate sales? So there are a lot of different like outcomes that you could want. So definitely include that there. Constraints. What are the limits? Like how long should your text be? What type of language should it be using? What type of language should it not be using? And then give it context as well. So I would say, if you're looking to generate content with ChatGPT, definitely pay attention to your prompt because the better the prompt, the better the output. So feel free to take this magic formula. I don't know if I'm allowed to share the entire the entire thing. I can ask him for permission and see if he's okay with me. I'm sure he won't be. I'd just like to ask his permission first. Um, yeah. Anyway, this is what I would recommend. Make sure that you're prompting it well, and you'll get great output.
Wow, Emily, you have a lot of knowledge. Thank you so much. Every question you give us like a new field to talk about this. Thank you. If you please, we have more questions, like one more question, if you still have time.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Um, so Khaled says you have mentioned that it's important to include data in your resume, such as 40% performance improvement. But what if I don't have such concrete percentage or numbers, like maybe I improved performance or cut costs, but it's not something that is countable or documented? Can I just make up numbers for the resume?
Right. You know what, guys? This is a fantastic question. I love this question because everyone asks this question. All right. Think about it this way. You are like starting a new relationship. Do you want it to be a relationship based on truth or lies? Thumbs up for truth, thumbs down for lies, guys. Show me what you think.
Thumbs up all the way.
Thumbs up all the way. So we want it to be based on truth. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm loving these thumbs up. Okay, awesome. So it's really important to make sure that we're basing the information that we're putting out there to employers on the truth. So if you don't have numbers, go back and see if you can get numbers. If you can't get numbers, you can use slightly less specific language to talk about the outcomes that you've had. So don't make stuff up. It can bite you in the butt. Like, especially imagine you put a number on your resume and then somebody goes back to your former employer and, and just like and says like, hey, oh, Muhammad over here, he said like he increased your sales by 90%. And then that person's gonna be like, what? And then you've made it so far that the person is contacting your contacts. Like they only will do that for like the final person and then you lose the job because of that. So keep it honest. And if you don't have those numbers, then don't use numbers, but use the words like I improved significantly or I slightly improved. Just make it stay within the realm of truth.
Wonderful. Um, yes, says it was a great session. I'm happy that I got all of those valuable information. Thank you so much, Emily. Yeah, and we have also more feedback. But right now, guys, do you have any last questions?
Yes, please, if I can ask Emily just one last question. I was asking about if it's that ChatGPT is the most maybe efficient AI tool that we can use, or is it the worst one, or if there is something that it's more accurate, or it's maybe we can use it more wisely.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good question. So the answer is I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. There are so many different tools out there. It's quite possible that there's a more efficient tool out there. My general assessment of resume generator tools, though, like I mentioned at the beginning of the session, is that it starts and it just doesn't have enough information about you to be able to get something out that's accurate. And I think that has to do with the fact that I think customers who are using these tools, they want something to be done fast. And because they don't understand that it takes time to get the data into the system, they don't want to take an hour to talk to a bot so that it gets all the data in that it needs to get good output. So what it's going to do is just going to like generate something that's a bit generic. It's going to make stuff up. It's going to lie, to be honest, because it doesn't know you very well. And then you'll spend time not in customizing it at the beginning of the process, but I think that you'll spend time. And this is the feedback that I've gotten from my clients who use those tools as well, that you have to spend time then customizing every resume that comes out, which at the end, somebody said in the chat that they're planning on getting 150 resumes out, customized resumes out in the next 3 months. That's a lot of work. And imagine going back and doing that at the end of every single resume. Here, of course, you need to review, but it has a lot of your data. So, the changes that you need to make at the end of every generation are much slower than what I've seen, at least from the custom, or than what I've seen from the resume tools that are out there. So hopefully in the future I'll make a solution that works better for you guys, but you'll all have jobs by then, so you won't need me. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a
Okay,
lot.
you're welcome. All right.
Great. I have one last question. Salah is asking, how did you get your expertise in AI? Like, are you an AI expert? How did you get this expertise in AI?
Guys, just the internet. I went on the internet. I watch YouTube all the time. I started my own company. So I was finding, solutions or, finding problems and thinking, how could I solve this with AI? And then doing research on it on the internet, like literally on YouTube. Everything you need to know is basically on YouTube. And if it's not on YouTube, ask ChatGPT and just make sure that ChatGPT is not just telling you what it thinks you want to hear. Make it really challenge you and say, what is the downside to me implementing this? Really ask it um, to go against the grain and give you something that it thinks that you're not gonna like, because you'll find that's where the golden nuggets come from. Just curiosity, guys. Be curious. Be a lifelong learner. I am old. I am old, you guys. Can I tell you a secret? I'm 41. I'm 41, guys.
We couldn't
And
tell.
I know AI stuff. Yes, Bilal, it's shocking. It's shocking to me too.
You're full of wisdom and knowledge.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
No, that's not true. It's a fact.
Thank you. All
Okay,
right.
yeah, Emily. So I think we're done with all the questions that are in that were dropped in the chat. But yeah, and yeah, even Muhammad said you seems more younger, like younger. This is
Thank
something
you.
we agree on. Uh, And yeah, we have a lot of thank you messages from some of our entities. We actually have a very good number saying up until like 22 minutes over the planned time. So
Yes.
that's a proof of how much we benefited from your session. Mashallah, you have a lot of knowledge and expertise, and I personally like most of the things that you mentioned here were new to me. I
Hmm.
thought I'm educated in that field, but it turns not. I have a lot of things to do and have a lot
Okay.
to learn. But thank you, at least for giving us the highlights so we can follow of what we want to do and benefit from the AI tools and the AI era for our benefits, especially in a
Hmm.
very, very competitive job market right now with all the AI tools. So we have to stand out and we have to do everything possible in order to achieve what we want. So yeah, thank you so, so, so much, Emily, for your time, for your help, for this great, great session. And I enjoy it. I'm sure all our entities also enjoy that. Yeah, so we can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. So, shukran, friends. And it's been really a pleasure to be here with you. And inshallah, you will be able to use all of this information to land amazing jobs. You guys have my LinkedIn, so you can connect with me there. I'm super happy to be in touch, especially for anybody who wants to know about higher education in Germany. I just happen to have knowledge on that topic. So feel free to connect.
Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you, and thank you for
Okay.
offering like the connection with all the people here. So yeah, it's great, and we can't wait till we have our next session with you, maybe in the next
I'm
cohort or so.
Yes, I'm excited too. Just send me a message. I'll be there. Yeah.
Inshallah. Thank you again. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank
much,
you
and have a
too.
good day. Bye
You too.
bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for attending. It was a pleasure having you all. And please make sure that you follow Wasla so you can make sure you're up with all the updates or the great sessions, just like today's session. And also for everyone who was asking, we'll be publishing and the recording on YouTube. And inshallah, when Emily send us the slides and all the resources, it will be in the job description of the video. So make sure you follow our LinkedIn page, our community WhatsApp group, and all our other social media platforms. You will find this session maybe in the next 2 days, and you also find the first session of Emily, which was maybe 4 months ago. Also, it is recorded and it's there on the YouTube channel. So make sure to see all of that. And please, if you have any question or if you have any topics that you would love to have a session on, please just text us on our LinkedIn message or our community WhatsApp group, and we're all here for you. So thank you for attending, and again, thank you, Emily, for this course session.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye bye.